What's going on, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and we are back again today with another 2020 NBA Draft Prospect full game video breakdown. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Florida State guard Trent Forrest, and I really like Trent Forrest. He was a guy who, when I initially crafted my top 100 list, he actually didn't crack it, but now, after getting a lot more time to watch tape of some of these guys, he's really skyrocketed. I'm probably going to have him in the low 70s on my final board. I really like his overall defensive tenacity. I mean, this guy just always has a nose for a ball, really good defensive awareness. Plays with an awesome motor. I think he had an 8-steal game against Duke this past season. Offensively, he's challenged. I think he shot well from the floor overall. I think at around a 46% clip, but he only shot 28% from three. And this was the first season at Florida State where he actually shot over a three a game. His first 3 seasons, he was still under 1 3 per game, and none of the percentages were that inspiring. So I do question his outside shot, even though he was an 82% free throw shooter at the line. Maybe there is some room to grow, but overall, I really like Trent Forrest as one of those guys who can go undrafted and maybe make an impact on an NBA roster immediately, just because of that defensive versatility that he does have. He has a very long wingspan for being 6'4". I think he's just a bulldog on the ball. I think he's very smart off of it as well. And honestly, I think that offensive game is a little bit more polished than what may be suggested. So I'm excited to watch this game. This game, actually, he has a very good shooting performance. I believe he shoots 9 of 11 from the floor. So it'll be fun to watch. I think he finishes with 21. Yeah, he finishes with 20 points and 5 assists with 2 steals. So yeah, he's doing it all in this game. So I'm excited to watch it. And let's get right into it. So he's going to be number 3 in the black. And we got to foul immediately. So that's always a good start you want to see. So yeah, he's going to be number 3 in the black. Right now he is on, it looks like, I want to say that's Darius Perry for Louisville. And you can see Florida State, their whole defensive system is kind of just like to trap the wings and things like that. We saw a lot of that with Devin Vassell's breakdown along with Patrick Williams's. But you can see Trent Forrest right now really just extending his arms well. Again, moves his feet extremely well defensively. And you can see they almost play like a Toronto Raptors style of defense where they're very willing to help one pass away. They're okay with kind of leaving that open shooter. And we saw in that possession, Forrest did help up a lot, leaving a corner shooter open. And also right there, he played pretty aggressively one pass away. And you can see he really was kind of the engineer behind this Florida State offense. He didn't really do a whole lot in terms of scoring. He only averaged around 11 points a game. But he did average around exactly 4 assists per game. And you can see him right there. Yeah, he's going to just, again, that shot is not great. But, he did average 4 assists per game. Was an unquestioned starter for this Florida State team on a team that values having depth, giving a lot of guys minutes, things like that. And so he really was just kind of this undisputed leader. And you can see him right there. Maybe you'd like to see him rotate over a little bit, but that wasn't really his responsibility. But you can see Louisville's up to a quick 5-0 lead. Florida State's actually going to win this game as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this game plays out. But again, I think Forrest is a little bit more versatile than some of these guys are expecting. I almost see him as sort of a Chris Dunn type of player. Obviously, Chris Dunn had a way better college career. I mean, he was like a Big East player of the year, top 5 pick. And Trent Forrest is going to be probably undrafted. But in terms of what he can bring to the NBA level, just that bulldog perimeter defense, limited, but he's shown, I think he's a little bit better of a playmaker, or at least he has potential to be a better playmaker in the NBA than Chris Dunn is currently. But Chris Dunn obviously had that full offensive arsenal at Providence before really just kind of, that part of his game just kind of didn't really grow when he got to Minnesota and then Chicago. But Forrest I kind of see as just kind of what Chris Dunn is now in the NBA at his ceiling. So I still think that's a very good player. I mean, Chris Dunn was he was a few votes away from being all NBA defensive team. So, that's the type of impact I think Trent Forrest can have. And again, just with that frame, really moves extremely well. So I think he's just someone to look out for if your team's looking to sign some undrafted guys. Because I don't think Forrest will get drafted. He might sneak into that second round. But we will see. And here he's bringing the ball up again. We saw him miss his first shot. And again, he really is just kind of the engineer of this Florida State offense. This is a team that really doesn't value isolation basketball. They'll move it around a lot. Not many guys have high usage rates on this team. Obviously, we saw Devin Vassell, who's going to be a top 10 pick most likely. And he averaged around 12 points a game. So just kind of just goes to show that depth that Florida State does have. And here he is with the ball, Forrest. And again, can make basic pick and roll reads. I think he's somewhat of an underrated distributor, I would like to say. Again, in college, he was mainly valued for his defense and overall leadership ability, but I think his senior year, he really kind of turned it on in terms of his passing. Right here, you can see he's kind of just looking a little bit lost and lazy, but, didn't have his back towards the basket right there. And again, it looks like you get beat back door, but that's really part of the Florida State system, so can't really discredit him for that effort right there. That's a nice one-handed pass to Vassell, who's going to miss that shot. But again, you see Forrest. I like that he was able to make that pass comfortably with one hand, right off of a dribble too. So that was pretty impressive. And again, I was saying this earlier, but I really do think he grew as a distributor and overall point guard during his 4 years at Florida State. And I think it was apparent because this team was very good. This was a very solid team overall, and I think that clearly, part of it at least, was due to the emergence of Trent Forrest as just somewhat of an offensive threat. We got our first media timeout right here, so I will skip ahead. We got Jordan Nwora shooting free throws. We haven't seen Forrest do much yet, but obviously he's going to shoot very well from the field in this game, so that's not going to be an issue. We got Nwora right here. I'll skip all this, and here we go. But again, you can see him. He's listed at 6'4", but he looks bigger than that, Maybe it's just like the Florida State effect where everybody kind of just looks taller and longer. But I really do think that he has that build of being a very, very solid NBA defender if he could get his chance in the league. You look at a guy like Lou Dort and see the impact that he had for the Thunder in that first-round series against Houston. They ultimately lost that series in 7, but you just see that James Harden was totally taken out of his rim for a few of those games just because of what Lou Dort could bring. And I think Forrest, there is a legitimate chance that he becomes kind of one of those guys that you just stick on a really good guard on the offensive end and you just let him go to work. Good job staying straight up right there. Again, he's a senior, very crafty, very disciplined in his overall approach. You see him right there. Go straight up again, realizing that he does have that length to impact a shot without really having to reach down or, jump into the offending player. So that's just, that kind of just that senior knowledge you pick up with playing 4 years of college basketball. Again, plays like a veteran, knows the ins and outs of every system. Things like that I think are very valuable at the NBA level in terms of contributing immediately on a roster. You can see it right there. I think he kicked that out to MJ Walker, who knocked down that three. And he is currently off the ball on Ryan McMahon in that right corner. And then you can see how far Florida State's willing to shift over. So let's see what he does here. And again, right there, bit on the shot fake a little bit. And McMahon's going to miss that three. Got a decent look, but you can see the closing speed that Forrest does have. He was already probably in the mid-block area, and he was able to make a decent contest on that shot. So again, he does have good closing speed. Usually he's very disciplined in his closeouts, things like that. And again, really good at just using that length to his advantage. And so really, I look at him and, he's listed as he's a point guard-ish, shooting guard, combo guard-ish, 6'4" size. But I do think due to that length, I think he can guard maybe some threes in the NBA. And right there we saw a nice little seam pass to MJ Walker, who had the nice finish. MJ Walker, by the way, is going to be a stud this year for Florida State. I'm really high on him. I'm really high on this Florida State team coming in to this season for college basketball as well. So we got a foul here, and I believe Forrest is going to go out. Again, we haven't really seen a whole lot from him. I don't think he's scored yet, but we will obviously see him score a fair amount. He does make 9 shots in this game. So, and we got 15:31 is when he comes back in, so I will skip ahead right here. You can see the inbound, and Forrest is chasing around. I think that's Fresh Kimball. Yes. Looks like we got a deflection, and it's going to be Florida State ball. He's going to get a nice little slip, and he did get Williams on that slip, but Williams just couldn't really handle the pass. But again, I do like the overall vision that he does show, and again, that wasn't really there with him his freshman season, And so I do like the overall improvement that he did have. Right there, he probably got sucked into the lane a little bit too much, but again, it's just a system thing. Think about how the Toronto Raptors play defense. That's basically what Florida State does as well. just very aggressive in terms of closing out. They're willing to take risks, because they do have that game-changing length all over the floor. And there, I think that's, I don't know who that was making the three for Florida State, but and you can see here's Florida State kind of just pressuring the ball. And again, Forrest has no trouble picking up 94 feet, which I really like. And again, good motor, moves his feet well. See right here, he's going to get a screen. Looks like Florida State's just going to switch that. And again, this Florida State team was super switchable too, so that's always fun to watch. And you can see him on the post, and right there he got bodied by, I think that's Malik Williams. Maybe could have been a foul. But yeah, I know. I like him as a versatile defender. I don't think he's that versatile where he can just take on a 6'11" big guy in the post, but, we'll see. And here's Forrest bringing up the ball with speed. Kicked it to a trailing Pat Williams, and then Williams is going to knock down, Williams kicked it to MJ Walker again, who again, I think he's going to be all ACC level player this year. Wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks his way into the second round either. Because this guy, he was an All-American in high school. I mean, he can play. And so again, right now you see Forrest picking up, I think that's Sam Williamson, who I think is listed at like 6'6", 6'7". So again, he's playing the small forward role, and Forrest can just pick him up with ease, really. And again, Samuel Williamson, he's a talent too. He was another McDonald's All-American, things like that. So you see right there, Forrest making a big impact with that length, just trying to get that shot contest up, and he did really well, not fouling. So again, right there a little. So yeah, I'm not really sure if I like that shot from Pat Williams, but nonetheless, Forrest did a nice job kind of just shoveling that off. And again, so that shot went in, but I really do like the effort from Forrest the effort that Forrest gave right there, just kind of contesting that shot on Nwora. Nwora is a pretty skilled finisher, so that's going to go in most of the time when he gets that running start. But I do think that was a very solid overall contest from Forrest. And here's Forrest. Let's see what he does here. So he has Nwora. And again, nice little in and out dribble. Let's see if he finishes that. He couldn't finish that, so I think he might go 9 for 9 the remaining. So there's one. Nice job just sticking with the play. And he got that put back to go. But again, he's pretty slithery with the ball. He's not super good in terms of his overall speed. But, he can kind of get into holes in the defense, things like that, kind of wiggle his way into certain vulnerable spots. So I think that's a legitimate part of his game that I think should be it should be noted. But he's not a guy that's going to just totally break you down off the dribble with his speed. And obviously he doesn't have really the step back jumper or the off the dribble jumper that you'd hope for. And so a lot of his points come by just getting to the rim, things like that. But I do think the willingness that he did show to shoot the three-pointer his senior season, I think was very good. So you can see right there, he's a little bit out of position, but that's the system again, and he crossed his feet a little bit, so not a huge fan of that, but he did recover really well, and now I don't know who this is for Louisville, but you can see Forrest just kind of in the grill, and again, he knows the shot clock's late. They're going to force basically I don't know what that was. That's tough, but that should have been a shot clock violation / turnover, and that's just a tough play, but I like Forrest's defensive intensity there. He almost got it. Ooh, that's going to be wow, that should have been backcourt. That's tough. Here we go. Let's see. It looks like there we go. There's a makeup turnover right there. We got a media timeout right here, so I don't know when they come back. I'm guessing right around here. Yep, here we go. So you can see Forrest just playing very aggressively on corners, and you see, I think that was Dwayne Sutton who took advantage of that aggression for Forrest. And so again, it looks like Florida State players get beat backdoor, but you can't really look at it like that because that's the system Florida State runs. They're willing to allow those back cutters because they know they have like rim protection, things like that. So it is just interesting to watch them play defense because I do think they're one of the more exciting teams to watch play defense just because they force a lot of like turnovers, things like that. We got a foul right here, but it does open you up. And so when you're scouting these guys, you got to really take into account the college system and like the overall method of playing defense because it does make a huge difference. So like Forrest has at times looked very like lackadaisical, but I don't really think that describes his game at all. And you can see right there the little slipperiness he has with the ball. God, I think that was Darius Perry out of position. A little bit made a nice kick out pass. Florida State couldn't really get anything going out of it though. And so good job right there, Forrest staying 94 feet with the guy. And again, knows to keep his hands straight up, and he knows that his vertical length is enough to make that shot difficult, so he doesn't feel the need to kind of bump him with the lower body. He's totally fine going stride for stride with the offensive player, and he forces a tough layup opportunity. So I think that's a really impressive and a very nuanced part of his game, just that overall defensive intelligence that you see, just like the little techniques, the Chris Paul veteran, the veteran's handbook, things like that. And you're not going to get a lot of that from the freshmen or like the top tier prospects just because they're all so young. So again, Forrest has basically been a non-issue offensively right now. Let's see what he does here. So again, that should be a 3. But he just doesn't really have that confidence to shoot it. He did a lot better in terms of that, but he's got to do a little bit more shooting. I think that's the one thing he really needs to work on. I think if he could shoot the ball consistently, he'd probably be a mid-second round pick. But just the fact that he's just really kind of a net 0, if that, on offense is kind of concerning. But overall, I do think his defense is I think it's NBA ready. And so it'll be interesting to see if any team takes a shot at him. And here we go. Nice job running the lane. Good catch. Let's see what he does here. Really nice finish. Again, pretty good verticality as well. Hung in the air well, and he got the layup to go. That's a tough finish. But again, he was very good driving towards the rim. Things like that. And again, a lot of his baskets came within the three-point line. They came from just attacking the rim, getting open lanes, things like that. And here comes Forrest on the fast break opportunity. Again, nice little behind the back dribble. Pretty instinctual with his handle, I'd say. He did average 3 turnovers a game, but overall, I think, his handle's pretty good. And you can see right there, look at how good of a job he does without fouling. So I want to rewind that a little bit because that's probably the best example of what I've seen so far. So we're going to see this. So right here, okay? So Forrest is going to be right here. It's basically a one-on-one fast break. We see these types of plays all the time, and it's usually resulting in a foul or a layup, right? Watch Forrest contest. Watch him go straight up. He's never going to jump into this player, to Darius Perry right here, and it's just a really, really solid defensive play. Let's watch it. Times it up well. And again, perfectly straight. No foul call. Louisville gets the basket, but not to any fault of Forrest. But that's just like that type of defensive, instinctual, cerebral play that Trent Forrest is going to bring an NBA team. See right there, really nice pass. Saw the defense collapsing. Kicked it out to Raquan Gray. They got a good look out of it, just couldn't really finish. But again, he really improved as a passer over his 4 years. Good job kind of just closing out. But again, you can kind of see the overall aggression of Florida State's defense. And we got a foul right here. And 26-19. So Forrest is out for a little bit right here. I'll skip ahead to 31-27. Here we go. So yeah, final 2 minutes here. And so here's Forrest getting the ball on top of the key. Looking for a pass. That's just a solid pass into flow of the offense. MJ Walker's going to create and knock down that 3. And again, I don't know how this guy just has gone totally unnoticed the last 3 years. He's a very, very solid talent. So I'm excited to see what he'll do this year. MJ Walker, that is. So you can see Forrest kind of playing that weak side tag role. Just kind of trying to sink down and cut off any rim drivers. And we're going to get Devin Vassell on that rebound. And here come the Seminoles. And it's going to be a turnover, foul. Florida State's not in the bonus yet, though. So here's Forrest on that drive, and he's going to really nice job. Again, really good job elevating and finishing off the glass. And, when you can't really shoot the 3, you got to look for other ways to score. And Forrest did a really nice job of just trying to get to the lane a lot of the time and just finish over guys. And again, he's not the quickest guy. He's not the best athlete, but he's just really, really crafty and instinctual. And, those types of players, I think, in those undrafted or the late second to undrafted territory I think those guys are extremely valuable. So right here, good job by Forrest, just being alert off the ball. So we got a cylinder violation, something. And Louisville's in the bonus, so I'll skip this. Here we go. We got the final 41 seconds left of this first half. And here's Forrest bringing the ball up. It's going to get a ball screen at the top, slip for Patrick Williams. So again, another nice, just solid read. I like that he keeps his head up when he dribbles, things like that. And so for a guy who's not really noted for having great offensive ability, I do think he doesn't have a, like, there is some value to be had with him, as we see right there. Good job blowing by his guy off the dribble and then kicking it out for the open three, which Florida State did hit. So again, really nice play from Forrest right there. And so, he is being written off as kind of just this defensive specialist, but there is something there with his offense, I think. Man, that's the end of the first half. So I will pause this one, and we will see you for the second half. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know I did. I like watching Trent Forrest and Florida State play all the time, so it's fun for me. But, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you for the second half soon. Thanks.